Yeah. Yes. So far, in this unit, what we have find out? We have find out where f of x is a nonlinear equation generally, and we are interested in finding the solution. That means root, approximate root for the transcendental functions f of x. Here, generally, f of x is non-linear. If it is linear, if you have the linear equations, then we have already some matrix methods are there, right? Decomposition methods, elimination process, row canonical form, echelon form, they are there. So generally, this particular unit meant for actually for non-linear equations. And the methods we have discussed: bisection method, secant method, regular Falsy method, and then the yesterday section, Newton-Raphson method. All of them finding the approximate solution. Finding approximate solution. Okay, with some error tolerance, of course. Approximate solution means there will be some error tolerance. Okay, only one equation is given in only one variable, and we have evaluated, and we have seen the how the methods goes. Now, today we are going to see a solution for a system of non-linear equations. That is, system of non-linear equations. Actually, when the system has more than two equations, manually doing it will be will needs a lot of calculations. So we will restrict ourselves to two non-linear equations. Even our course syllabus also prefers exactly two. But the same thing can be generalized for any the system of equations can be more than two also. Okay. Now assume that let f of x comma y is equal to 0 and g of x comma y is equal to 0. F of x comma y is equal to 0, g of x comma y is equal to 0. Right? These are the two nonlinear equations in two independent variables x and y. Now, what is our aim? Our aim is to find a suitable approximation for approximate solution for both the functions f and g. Okay, of course, again with some error tolerance. with some error tolerance. Okay. So how to proceed? If it is only one equation in only one variable, we have the Newton-Raphson method. In the Newton-Raphson method, what is the basic, the iterating function? It is xk plus 1 is xk minus f at xk minus derivative of f at xk. So the Newton-Raphson method generally involves the derivatives of the functions also. Okay. Since it is only one variable is there in yesterday, so we have direct derivative is there. But here we have two independent variables are there. So instead of derivatives, we should deal with something called partial derivatives of f. And at the same time, we also interested the common. Okay. Solution for both f and g. So partial derivatives of f are there and partial derivatives of g are also there. That is fx, fy, gx, gy. fx, fy, and gx and gy. Suppose you assume that here x naught comma y naught is the initial guess. Initial guess. Initial guess. Okay. So we need to find out some proper values for x and y such that that will be an approximate solution for both the nonlinear equations. F of x comma y is equal to 0 and g of x comma y equal to 0 with some error tolerance epsilon. Okay, so we have started with x naught comma y naught. Okay, and this method is also generally, it is also Newton-Raphson method only, but for system of nonlinear equations. System of nonlinear equations, not for a single nonlinear, not for one nonlinear equation. Okay. So in this case, in the Newton-Raphson method also, we have seen that the function must be differentiable and the derivative should be non-zero. Now, what about the conditions here? Here, first thing here, the partial derivative of fx, fy, and the partial derivative of gx and gy. Okay. Two equations are given and in two variables. So, for both the functions f and g, both the first order partial derivatives should exist Okay, right. Now suppose if you assume if you write xk and yk is the kth approximate solution for the system, for the given system, then the kth plus 1th approximate solution is given by xk plus 1 yk plus in the metric form, given in the metric form as follows: xk yk minus J inverse at xk comma yk times f at xk and g at yk. Sorry, f at xk comma yk and g at xk comma yk. Okay. Now here, what about this J inverse of xk comma yk? So J inverse of xk comma yk is basically the inverse of a metric. Xk comma yk is inverse of the metric J, inverse of the metric J. So generally J is called the Jacobian metric. Jacobian metric at xk comma yk. Now what about this Jacobian metric, and what is the Jacobian metric is given by j of x comma y is equal to fx at x comma y, fy at x comma y, gx at x comma y, gy at x comma. Okay, so it will be a 2 by 2 metric. Why? Because we have taken two equations in two unknowns, so it will be a 2 by 2 square metric consisting of all the first order partial derivatives for both f and g in this manner. Okay. So this is actually, if you reduce it to the one variable case, this is what you will get. Xk plus 1 is equal to xk minus j inverse at xk. What is j inverse at xk here? Basically here 1 upon derivative of f at xk. 1 upon derivative of f at xk times f at xk. Okay. So how do we reach this iteration function? Is basically we need to expand. We need to use the second order Taylor series expansion for the functions f and g. With the help of the Taylor's expansion, we will get this iteration. Okay. So let us do one exercise based on this one. So consider the system. Okay, before solving some problem, before solving some problem. So now, what is the criteria for the convergence? Is there any necessary and sufficient condition is there for the convergence of the Newton-Raphson method for system of nonlinear equations? It is it is the necessary and sufficient condition for convergence of the method is the spectral radius of the iteration metric. What is the iteration metric here? The Jacobian. So not the Jacobian, inverse of the Jacobian. It is iteration metric is inverse of the Jacobian. Okay. So the spectral radius of the inverse of the Jacobian metric at the point xk and yk should be strictly less than 1. By the way, what is this one? This is the spectral radius. What do we mean by spectral radius? Spectral radius means the largest eigenvalue and of course only in magnitude. The largest eigenvalue in the magnitude should be strictly less than 1. Then the method converges. The method converges means as we do the infinite number of iterations, the approximate solutions will converge to the exact solution. Okay. And then what about the stopping criteria for the method, for this method? It is, we can stop the iteration process. We can stop the iteration process if if the absolute difference between the two successive iterations for both the variables, if it is less than the error tolerance, then we can stop it. Okay, what is this one? This is the absolute difference between the two successive approximations for the variable x and for the variable y. Both should be less than epsilon. In that case, we can stop the iteration. As you can see it here, even if we have only two equations in only two variables, you can see the iteration process here. You can see the iteration process here. Though it is a recursive process, a lot of computations required in evaluating the inverse of the Jacobian at every iteration point. Remember that. It is not the fixed point here. J is the Jacobian metric, that is fine. But in every iteration, we should substitute what is the iteration point xk and yk here. Then we will be having some numerical metric, and for that metric we should find out the inverse. Okay. Now let us do one exercise. Solve the system of equations. Solve the system of nonlinear equations given by 3 times x square plus y square is equal to 4 and x square plus xy plus y square is equal to 3. And first thing, start with the initial guess. x0 comma y0 is given by, both are same, 0.8 comma 0.8 only. Okay, at least do 2 iterations. At least do 2 iterations. Okay. Now, okay, I forgot to tell you here one thing here. So in the one variable case, we have a condition that the if the derivative of the function becomes 0 at some 0, then we cannot proceed further. So the Newton-Raphson method fails, right? Newton-Raphson method fails. So now what is the condition here? Here, first thing, the J inverse should be exist. The Jacobian metric should have inverse. That is, the determinant of this metric should be non-zero. That is, what is the determinant of this metric? Fx times gy minus fy at gx should be a non-zero number at the iteration point xk comma yk. Okay. If it is equal to 0, then the Jacobian metric is a singular metric, and hence the inverse does not exist, so we cannot proceed further. Okay. Now choose here what is your f and what is g here. So f of x comma y is equal to 3x square plus y square minus 4 is equal to 0, and g of x comma y is equal to x square plus xy plus y square minus 3 is equal to 0. First thing, in applying the Newton-Raphson method, what we should check? First thing, we should check whether the partial derivatives of f and g exist or not. Yes, of course. In place fx. Okay, let us evaluate fx itself. Fx is equal to 6x. Fy is equal to 2y. Gx is equal to 2x plus y. Gy is equal to x plus 2y. Okay. And all these functions, all the first order partial derivatives for both f and g exist, and they are in fact they are continuous also. Okay. In fact, for this expression, for these functions, not only first order partial derivatives, in fact, partial derivatives of all orders exist. Fine. Right. Now, what is the Jacobian metric? The Jacobian metric J of x comma y. It is a variable metric. Remember, is given by fx, so that is 6x, fy, so that is 2y, and then gx, so that is 2x plus y, and gy, so that is x plus 2y. This is the Jacobian metric. Okay. Now let us check what is its what is the derivative, what is the determinant of this Jacobian metric. What is the determinant for this Jacobian metric? Is 6 into x square plus 12xy minus 4xy minus 2y square. So that is equal to what we will be having this case. 6 times x square plus 8 times xy minus 2 times y square. Minus 2 times y square. Now, obviously, when it is 0, when x and y both are 0, then obviously it will this will also be 0. Okay, so that now it depends on the iteration points. It depends on the iteration points. Okay, so this is j of x comma y, the Jacobian. Now, what about the inverse of the Jacobian metric? The inverse of the Jacobian metric is given by 1 upon the determinant of Jacobian metric times, since it is a only 2 by 2 metric, you know what is the inverse? X plus 2y, 6x minus 2y minus 2x minus 1. Right? Okay. Okay, fine. Now, what is the iteration formula for the Newton-Raphson method for the two variable case? It is xk plus 1 in the metric form, and the yk plus 1 is given by xk, yk here, and then minus the inverse of the Jacobian metric at the point xk and yk times the value of the function f at the iterating point xk, yk, and the value of the function g at the point xk and yk. Okay, this is generally, it is true for k is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now let us have some okay. One thing what you can substitute the j, what is j inverse here, along with this determinant also you can substitute it. And what is f at xk and yk, and g at xk, yk also you can substitute. F at xk, yk is this one, g of at xk, yk is this one. Multiply the matrix multiplication, do the summation, do the subtraction. So finally you will get one equation. But I suggest not to do that one. Why? Because there will be a high chance that you may some calculations mistakes might happen. Okay. Instead, it is always better to use some tabular form. For example, k, okay, fine, we'll have here xk is there, and yk we need to evaluate. Okay, fine. Not only that, and then we need to evaluate what is something called f at xk comma yk, and g at xk comma yk also we need to evaluate. Right? And finally, we also need to evaluate what is something called the j inverse at xk comma yk. So this will be a metric. This one xk, yk, f at xk, yk, g at xk, yk, all will be numerical scalars only, but j inverse at xk, yk will be a metric. Anyway, Now let us start with k is equal to 0. So x0 and y0, the initial guess is given to be 0.8 and 0.8c. Now evaluate the value of the function f at this point 0, 0.8 and 0.8. So 3 times 0.8 square plus 0.8 square minus 4. What is the value? The value of f, this is the f. Get 0.8 comma 0.8. So I think let me write it here. Xk is now x naught at 0.8 and here also it is 0.8 minus J inverse. We will write the metric later. First give me the function value of f at the point 0.8 and 0.8, and similarly for G also. Minus 1.44. Okay, that is for, I hope that is for f. Now what about for G? What about for G? For the function G at the point xk and yk? Minus 1.08. Minus 1.08. Okay. Now, the difficult thing is we need to evaluate what is J inverse. So since it is only 2 by 2 metric, 2 by 2 metric, so we need not to worry. Here we can look at here. So first find the determinant. So 6 times 0.8 square plus 8 times 0.8 square minus 2 times 0.8 square. So finally 6 plus 8, 12 into 0.8 square. So that will be the determinant. So that is 1 upon, give me the what is the determinant. Since x is equal to y and the same as 0.8, 6 plus 8, 14 minus 2, 12 into 0.8 square. What is the value of the determinant? 7.68. Okay, thank you. So the determinant is 7.68. And then let us fill this metric. So fx at 0.8 and 0.8. Fx at 0.8. So here it will be 4.8. Right? So this will be okay. I think better we use the J inverse formula, the metric here. So x plus 2y. So 3 times 0.8, 3 times 0.3 times 0.8 means 2.4. Okay. And then fy minus 2 times 0.8, so minus 1.6. Minus 1.6. And then minus 2x minus y. So minus 3 into 0.8. So minus 2.4. And then gy, that is 6. Sorry, here 6x. So that is 6 into 0.8. So that's 4. Okay. Now you do the matrix multiplication. Multiplication divide with 7.68 and simplify with 0.8 and 0.8, and finally give me the what is the x1 and y1. So the x1 and y1 is what? The common mistake generally some of you may do here, they will do the multiplication, both the matrix multiplication like 2.4 this metric times this metric, and they will subtract from this 0.8 also. And later they will divide with this one. So that should not be the case. That should not be the case. Okay. So anyway, so here I will give the value here. So it is 1.025 and 1.025. If you simplify it, the right hand side expression, you will get 1.025 and 1.025. Okay. So this is only one iteration we have performed. Now, based on this iteration, using this iteration, we need to evaluate what is the second approximate solution, that is x2 and y2. x2 and y2. So x2 and y2 means x1 and y1. So that is 1.025, 1.025 minus 1 upon determinant of the Jacobian metric. So what is the Jacobian metric? This is. So now what is x and what is y? X is 1.025 and again 1.025. So it is again 12 times 1.025 square. 12 times 1.025 square. Can you give me the value? Please give the determinant of the Jacobian at the point 1.025, 1.025. $12.6075. Okay, right? So this is 12.6075. Okay, right? So and then we need the metric, and then we need the function values also. So the function value at this point and function value at this point. Function value f value at this point and g value at this point. So that is given to be here 0.2025. If you evaluate, you will get it here. And for the function g, you will get 0.1519. And similarly, now again let us fill the metric. So 1 upon determinant of j we have written. Now x plus 2y. So 3 times this one. 3 times this one means 3.075. Okay, it is already the inverse, right? So x plus 2y means, yeah, it is 3.075. And then minus 2 into y. So that is minus 2.050. Minus 3 into this one. So that is minus 3.075. And then 6 into x. 6 into x means here 6 into x means 6 into x. So that is 6.15. If I am not wrong. Okay. Now do the matrix multiplication, and if you do the matrix multiplication and then simplification, then finally what you will get? So 1.003 and 1.003. 1.003 and 1.003. So this is what x2 and y2. So okay, it is asked us to perform 2 iterations. So that what we have already done. Okay, right. Now let us see what actually happening with the stopping criteria. What is the stopping criteria here? X2 minus X1. What is the difference between X2 minus X1? 1.003 and 1.025. So it is basically 0.00. How much? Is it 003 or 030? Okay, so this is the error after second iteration. Suppose if the error tolerance is 10 to the power minus 1, so obviously it is less than 0.1 and it is also less than 0.1. Hence, we can stop. But if the error tolerance is given to be 10 to the power minus 2, so it is not sufficient, we need to proceed further. Maybe one more iteration might be required. Okay, so that depending on the error tolerance, that you need to stop the procedure, the iteration algorithm. Now, any one of you have doubts regarding in this method? Any one of you are having doubts in this method? Okay. Now let me give some exercises. First one, find approximate value of root 2. Find the approximate value of root 2 up to 4 significant decimal places, decimal digits, 4 significant digits. Okay. Generally, root 2 value is something called 1.1414 something, you know it. But what you need to do is find the approximate value for the root 2 with some iterative techniques. So what you need to evaluate here basically, suppose if you assume that x is equal to root 2, you want to find, this is the expression, we want to find an approximate solution for this. You want to find an approximate solution for this one. Okay. So that is nothing but x square is equal to 2. So here f of xy you can take it as 1 minus 2 by x square is equal to 0. 1 minus 2 by x square is equal to 0. Now, which method you use, that is your wish. Okay, but better you do all the problems using all the iterative methods that we have discussed. Okay, sorry, it is not f of x comma y, it is f of x, only one variable function. And the second one, solve the system of nonlinear equations. Solve the system of nonlinear equations with x square plus y square is equal to 1 and x into y is equal to 0.5. Okay. So here two equations are given in two nonlinear equations are given in two unknowns. So you need to use the method that we have discussed today. That is Newton-Raphson method for system of nonlinear equations. So fxy is given, gxy is there. Okay. And for this one, here in this method, I have not given any initial approximation. Maybe you can start with the initial approximation as x naught is equal to 1. Why? Because as you know it, right? Root 2 value is something like 1.14 something. You can start with the initial approximation 1 x naught in all the methods. Okay. Now, okay, I will in all the methods means in the bisection method we need some interval, right? So we need such an interval where the endpoints of the function, the function will have opposite signs at the endpoints of that interval. So what we can take the interval, we can take the interval as 0 to 1. Sorry, not 0 to 1. 0 to 2, you can have it. Why? Because if you take this function f of x is equal to x square minus 2, if this is the function, so f at 0 is minus 2, that is less than 0, and f at 2 is 2, that is bigger than 0. So by intermediate value theorem, you can use it. And it is a continuous also. So there will be a root in this interval 0, 2. And when the first iteration happened, this interval will be reduced to, the size of the interval will be reduced by half. Okay. Right. And then, yeah, so this is the method, and here also we should have some initial guess. So let us take the initial guess as here x naught is 0.8 and y naught is y naught. What should we take? Take 0.6. I think is it an exact solution? 0.8 square means 0.64 and 0.36. So you will get 1 here. Okay, then you do one thing. Let us make this something 1.2. Okay, this is the initial guess for this. Okay, so that is where this unit, the solving the nonlinear equations, finding the approximate solutions for the nonlinear equations is also done. From tomorrow, we are going to start the third unit, that is basically, which basically says how to evaluate the integrals for some functions within some bounded domain, in some bounded domain. Okay, so I will stop the section here. If you have any doubts, you are most welcome. Thank you all.